Well, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. We are descending into crazy town as logic and reason seem to be giving way to the PC movement that's full of a bunch of people being overly offended. And I would argue that in this current climate, being offensive is not only a right, it might even be a duty now in the interest of pursuing truth. So today I'm going to point out 3 articles that I've recently found that are on very slippery slopes to leading us into all-out crazy town. This first one, court rejects man's legal bid to knock 20 years off his age, but he's not deterred. This is a guy who goes by the name Emil Rattleband. He said, I can choose my own life, my own holiday, I can choose my own name and my own gender, so why can't I choose my own age? Dutchman Emil Rattleband insists that his quest to turn the clock forward on his birth certificate is not over, despite a judge on Monday dismissing his request to legally become a younger man. So this guy put in a legit request that he says it's only fair that he should be able to identify as a younger man. He's currently 69, and he wants to identify as a 49-year-old. This was rejected for obvious reasons. I mean, there are age restrictions on things like driving a car, drinking alcohol, you know, the age of consent, and these sorts of things are there to essentially protect children. So if you did away with this, that would completely, make all of that obsolete. And obviously, it's a dangerous road to go down. So, but this guy's not deterred. As it says, he's going to continue and take this all the way. I think it's to the European Supreme Court, and try to win this case. And we've seen where these types of things go within the LGBTQ plus community. Some of you may remember this guy from a little while ago. Meet the 52-year-old father who identifies as a 6-year-old girl. Yes, he's a Canadian father of 7 who explains how he now identifies as a 6-year-old girl. I can't deny I was married. I can't deny I have children, he says, but I've moved forward now and I've gone back to being a child. I don't want to be an adult now. This is literally a mental disorder, obviously, and if we don't stop this slippery slope from descending into crazy town, it's only going to get worse and worse with things like this. Trans species woman spends £40,000 to turn herself into a dragon. You got trans species now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously a mental disorder that shouldn't be promoted and accepted. This one here, it says, I have a mommy and a daddy, adopted mommy and daddy, who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl. And their children and their grandchildren are totally supportive. You're not supporting, you're not helping the individual, and you're not helping society when you pander to these delusions. So again, this guy, trying to push the age limit one is a slippery slope that we really need to continue to watch. This other one I wanted to bring to your attention today, I find pretty ridiculously insane. Bringing home the bacon idioms referencing meat may become obsolete as veganism rises. You may think that phrases like bringing home the bacon and putting all your eggs in one basket are just harmless quirks of the English language, but they could be offending vegans and vegetarians, with once academics claiming they might end up being avoided altogether. As research shows, more people are removing animal products from their diets than ever before. Sharina Hamza of Swansea University says idioms involving animal products could be rendered obsolete because they're out of touch with the zeitgeist. It goes on to say here, in today's reality, meat is repeatedly the subject of much socially and politically charged discussion, including about how the demand for meat is contributing to climate change and environmental degradation. Given that fiction often reflects on real-world events and societal issues, it may very well be, down the line, powerful meat metaphors are eschewed. Again, this is trending into that territory of potentially policing language. I mean, obviously, they're just saying, it's not going to be a law that you can't say something like bring home the bacon. But again, we're talking about slippery slopes into crazy town here, and we've seen laws like this come about before. Here in Canada, we have Bill C-16. This is an act to amend the Canadian Human Rights Act and the Criminal Code. This enactment amends the Canadian Human Rights Act to add gender identity and gender expression to the list of prohibited grounds of discrimination. So we've seen where the slippery slope can lead to, where it literally amounts to the policing of our language, which I would argue is absolutely draconian. And, we have to maintain the right to be able to offend in the interest of pursuing truth. Because where does this lead? I mean, with the LGBTQ plus infinity, that's where it goes to. There is no end in sight. So again, troubling to me that something that seems just as simple as a harmless phrase, people are saying, you shouldn't say that. Well, look, if we get into that mentality, we're going to go down that down that road of potential policing of our language, which is draconian and dangerous, and it needs to be stopped at these incremental steps before it gets too out of hand. Something else getting a little out of hand, U.S. radio stations have recently stopped playing Baby It's Cold Outside amidst the Me Too movement. You guys may know that Christmas carol. A Cleveland radio station will stop playing the 1944 classic Baby It's Cold Outside, citing the Me Too movement and how it could be problematic. This station is pulling the song after a listener called into the station to bring up how the song could be seen as problematic in this day and age. It goes on to say here in the song, the female singer says, "I really can't stay," to which the male responds, "But baby, it's cold outside." And "Beautiful, what's your hurry?" Some of the more problematic lyrics include, "My mother will start to worry," I ought to say no, no, no," "What's in this drink?" So, it's interesting that this is coming up in this time, but this was written in 1944. This is a time when things were very, very different in that regard. For a man to be courting a younger woman was not, it was entirely acceptable at that time. And as this Twitter user points out, if we're going to go down this road, this slippery slope again, you got to consider this. Since a lot of these radio stations have decided to pull Baby It's Cold Outside from their playlist because someone was offended, these other holiday songs must have to be removed as well because they're offensive as well. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. That's subjecting minors to softcore porn. Or Holly Jolly Christmas. Kiss Her Once? Yeah, unwanted advances. White Christmas? Yeah, racist. Santa Claus is coming to town, sees you when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake? Yeah, peeping Tom Stalker. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, obviously, is bullying, so that's going to have to go. You see where this continues to go. It's insanity. Like this guy says, liberals listening to rap songs about rape, murder, and adultery? Oh, that's great and fun and lovely. Yeah, listening to Baby It's Cold Outside? Brah! They lose their minds. Yeah, this one is ridiculous. And the fact that people are getting so bent out of shape about being offended is something that I wanted to address in today's video. As I said from the beginning, I think it's not only a right to be able to be offensive, but it may now be our duty to be so in this climate, in the interest of pursuing truth. And in fact, one of the best responses I've seen to this question about is it okay to be offensive or not, came from Jordan Peterson when he was in that interview with this lady. And I'm just going to briefly play this, where he left her speechless. Because he's absolutely correct. Just listen to how he responds to what she, inquires about if it's okay to be offensive or not.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. Like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Well,
I'm very glad that I've exercised my freedom of speech.
You get my point. It's like you're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on.
So
and that is what you should do. But you're exercising your freedom of speech to certainly risk offending me. And that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
ha, gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah, got her all right. Mind blown, because he just hit her with some hard truths, and I think she realized it right then and there that, oh yeah, it's okay to be offensive. In fact, that may be a necessary thing to do in this current climate in the interest of pursuing truth, which I think is one of the most important things we should be looking at and doing, which is why I called my media organization Press for Truth, and which is why I wanted to bring some of these to your attention today. If you do like what we're doing here at Press for Truth, I want to remind you that this channel is only made possible with your contributions that come directly from you, the viewers. So if you guys like this kind of content, you want to see more of these types of videos, please check us out here on Patreon. We have a Patreon account. You can sign up for a monthly contribution. If you don't like Patreon, you can also do similar things on my website. You can donate at the Patreon alternative. You can select a monthly amount here and then hit subscribe, or you can donate through PayPal or various cryptocurrencies or good old-fashioned Bitcoin. And of course, we need your support to be able to continue, because we're up against a propaganda spin machine that is currently kowtowing to this PC culture, this movement, that, as I said, and we've shown today, it's a slippery slope, folks. It's a slippery, slippery slope that leads to all-out insanity. So, just wanted to bring that to your attention today. Thank you so much for watching. Please click the thumbs up button if you appreciate this video and the information that was presented here today. It really does help with YouTube's algorithms that are designed to stop this type of info from being seen. So please click the thumbs up button, share this one, leave a comment, and stay tuned, folks. We've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.